Hello everyone. Today's topic is the meaning of your birth in this corner of the universe. What Buddhism teaches. The reason why I have put in this corner of the universe here is that the universe is boundlessly, overwhelmingly vast, as you'll know if you study astrophysics. So what is the significance of a human living on this planet in this vast universe? We truly do only inhabit a corner of the universe. Our lives are here today, gone tomorrow, so what meaning do they have? What is the meaning of life? I hope that today's talk will be a chance for you to think about this. That in itself is the starting point of Buddhism. So I hope that even if you hadn't really thought about this until now, this video can give you some food for thought. Today, I will talk about these three things. First is a corner of the universe. Second is big history. Third is indescribably sad. I will talk about these three things. Since we, in this modern era, know that we exist in a vast universe, the expression, a corner of the universe is fitting. For a long time, humanity saw the Earth as the center of the universe. That's called the geocentric model. The idea that the planet we are standing on is the center of everything, and that the stars and the sun revolve around it. Since this aligned with biblical views, this was the accepted opinion for a long time. However, Giordano Bruno spoke out against it. An Italian philosopher, Bruno said that the sun is one of many stars and that the earth we live on is one of many planets. For this, he was arrested by the Inquisition and burned at the stake in Rome. He went to his death with an iron spike through his tongue and his lips wired shut. Back then, what Bruno said was a blasphemy against God, and the Pope was enraged. Now though, no one believes in the geocentric model. We know that the Earth revolves around the Sun. Furthermore, we know today that there are billions of stars in our galaxy and billions of galaxies in the universe. Therefore, we are also aware that the Earth where we live is just a speck in this vast universe, so small as to be invisible. We truly do live in just a little corner of the universe. So what is our significance? Is there some important meaning in the beliefs, hopes, and dreams we hold while living in this small part of a boundless expanse? What exactly is the value in human life? These are the questions we are prompted to think about when considering this vast universe. Why does space exist? And even then, is its existence certain? As a being born on one of the countless celestial bodies, what is my significance? What is my significance as an individual? The universe won't change a bit when I die, and nor will it change with the loss of one Earth-like planet. What is the meaning of my existence as a human? Looking at this vast universe makes you think about these things like this. So what exactly is big history? The big part comes from the Big Bang. What we think of as history is usually around 5 to 6,000 years, starting from about 4 or 3,000 BCE up until the 2000 CE. Big history, however, is the history of the universe, so that covers an extremely long span of time. It seems many people feel overwhelmed when learning about big history via images due to its grand scale. Apparently, Bill Gates said he too was very moved to experience this himself. This universe exploded into being and began expanding 13.8 billion years ago. 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth came into being, and life appeared on Earth about 1.5 billion years ago. In the present, humanity is thriving. According to big history, about 200 million years from now, the Pacific Ocean will rapidly grow smaller, and the Atlantic Ocean will rapidly grow larger, and the continent of Africa will break up. Eventually, one great landmass will form. About 4 billion years from now, the sun will burn out and the universe will end with everything being engulfed by a black hole. When we look at history on such a grand scale, our lives of 100 or so years, perhaps 110 years if our health lets us live long, seem so short. It really makes the Buddhist teachings that life is fleeting hit home. Human life is like a momentary flash of lightning. When thunder rumbles at night and lightning strikes, for an instant everything is lit up as if it's broad daylight. Our lives are like that flash, bright for a moment, then gone. Like morning dew, our lives are only there for a moment before they disappear. This is what Buddhism teaches. Hearing about this far-reaching big history really gives a sense that our lives are indeed just a momentary flash of lightning. It makes you wonder, what is it that our fleeting lives are for? Why were we born and why do we live? What should we use this brief life for? I will die in a few decades. Actually, I might die in a few years' time. Actually, I might die as soon as today. In any case, I am sure to die. Once I've died, then sooner or later, every trace of me will be forgotten entirely. You might protest, no, your memory will be passed on through the generations. Surely there will be people who still speak of you. But those people will die too. In 100 years' time, no one will remember me. And even if someone does still talk about me, I won't be able to appreciate it because I'll be dead. Just like a TV I was watching suddenly shutting off when its power is gone. My life will be gone in an instant. Why were we born and what do we live for? When our lives could disappear at any time. Contemplating the boundless universe and its long-spanning history makes us ponder the significance of our existence. In his Letter on White Bones, Master Renmyo described the reality of human beings as indescribably sad. Our lives are fleeting. As Shakyamuni Buddha thought, and I will quote, the outgoing breath awaits not the incoming breath, and so life ends, unquote. If we fail to take in the next breath, we will die. Truly, our existence is extremely fleeting, and Master Renmyo said that this is heart-wrenching. Our lives are a phantom thing, here today and gone tomorrow, which is tragic. But despite the indescribably sad fact that our existence is so fleeting, we remain foolishly convinced that we will go on living indefinitely. We are also sure that we are not going to die yet. The fact that our lives are fleeting and we might even die today, but regardless of this, we assume that we will live forever. We are thoroughly confident that death is far off, that it won't happen for a long time yet. It is possible that today will be our last, and yet this doesn't frighten us at all. We dismiss it as something that won't happen. And so we make plans for 3, 5, 10, 20 years in the future, thinking ourselves wise for planning ahead. The truth, however, is that we might very well be suddenly confronted by death as soon as tonight. We just can't believe that, but it is actual fact that today might be our last. When we hear that we might die today, we might understand this on a surface level, agreeing that it is statistically possible. However, deep down inside, we completely dismiss the possibility. I am 54 years old now, and data from Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare shows that 4 in 1,000 people aged 54 will die this year. That's 0.4%. So imagine 1,000 people of the same age gathered in a gymnasium, 4 of them will end up dying. Out of 1,000 people playing in a bingo game, 4 people will get it. And that's just this year. Another 4 in 1,000 will die next year after turning 55. Then after 56, it will be 5 in 1,000 people each year. So each year that we remain alive is another year that we have escaped death for now. After 70, 1 in 100 people will die within the year. So when you think about it, the probability of dying this year isn't that small. It is actually much higher than winning the lottery. You have a 1 in 10 million chance of winning Japan's jumbo lottery. Despite this, people assume they can win it and look excitedly at the winning numbers. Since the probability of dying this year is so much higher than winning the lottery, that ought to be much more of a concern to us. However, we are completely and utterly convinced that we'll go on living, and so we just dismiss the idea. We think that since the average life expectancy is about 80 years, we too will definitely live that long. But the truth is that we are up against increasingly significant odds of dying each year. And yet, unaware of this, we fail to cherish our lives and instead spend them on unimportant things. This Master Renyo called Indescribably sad. Master Shinran experienced being startled by our impermanence. Upon entering the Buddhist priesthood aged just 9, he composed this poem. Like the cherry blossom, the heart planning on tomorrow is ephemeral indeed. What sudden storm may not arise in the middle of the night? Our assumption that tomorrow will come and that we won't die today is not a reliable one. There are people who will die in a traffic accident today despite having believed tomorrow would come. There are people who will die this year despite having believed next year would come. Human life is more fleeting than cherry blossoms. The blossoms just came out in Tokyo recently, but then it rained and now most of the blossoms have fallen. If there is a storm overnight, the blossoms will be swept off the trees. One haiku by Oshima Ryota tells of looking at the trees after 3 days and seeing that the blossoms have already scattered. Indeed, someone who left the house all red-cheeked and sprightly may return home the same day, pale and lifeless after an accident. Hence, Master Shinran compared our lives to fleeting cherry blossoms. We cannot trust our conviction that tomorrow will come, as our lives might end tonight. So what were we born for? What purpose do we live for? What will happen to us when we die? Master Shinran entered the Buddhist priesthood to find answers to these questions. Today, I talk about our belief that we will live indefinitely, comparing our lifespan to the long history of the incredibly vast universe. I hope today's talk has prompted you to think about what it is we were born to do in this fleeting life. I would like you to know that this is the starting point of Buddhism and Master Shinran's teachings. On this channel, I talk about the Buddhist teachings via an assortment of different topics. So if this interests you, I would be delighted if you would subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video.